welcome back to Hey Kentucky. You know, the process has got to begin at some point to reopen Kentucky's economy. To talk a little bit more about that, I am really pleased to welcome into the show Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer. Hello, Senator Thayer. Looks like you've got your quarantine beard going.
It's my quarantine beard. I figure if I can't get a haircut, I might as well grow a beard.
Well, I appreciate you being here with us today, and I do want to talk about the reopening of the economy. And I know the president and the governor have both laid out plans which are pretty similar about, the reduction in cases, the amount of PPE, and all of that, to determine when we reopen things. But do you believe certain things could be phased in right now?
Mary Jo, thanks for having me on the show. My first time on Hey Kentucky, and I hope it's not the last.
Same
I've been
here.
calling. I've been calling for about the last 10 days for a gradual re-engagement of our economy. And I think we can do this in a healthy and safe way following the CDC protocols. And I think one of the best examples is we have large grocery chains and home improvement stores that are open for business following CDC protocols. Why can't we do this with small businesses? Let's reopen Main Street. They should be able to operate in a safe CDC protected way, even better than the large operations. And these businesses don't have large cash reserves. They operate off cash flow. So let's get them back open and let's get the cash flow moving, get their employees back at work. I just saw a statistic from the Pegasus Foundation that Kentucky's unemployment claims are 20% higher than our surrounding states, and that we only have about a month's worth of cash reserves to pay these unemployment claims. We've got to start getting the healthy people who aren't in the at-risk population back to work.
Two other things that you have mentioned are elective surgeries in hospitals, as long as there is an adequate PPE, and horse racing, probably without spectators. Am I right?
Yes, of course, in general, I'm calling for a reopening of the economy on a phased-in basis, but specifically, I've spoken out about hospitals, lifting the ban on elective surgeries. Indiana Governor Holcomb just announced today that they're going to phase that in, and in about another week or so, go back to elective surgeries. I've spoken with the Kentucky Hospital Association. They've got a plan for the governor to consider for them to reopen. They say that the hospitals have the necessary PPE to do this. And I think it's important. Our hospitals are losing $20 million a day, and they've laid off or furloughed thousands of workers. We got to get them open again. Most of our coronavirus patients are recovering at home. We work to flatten the curve so that our beds in hospitals did not get full, and they're not in most cases. So let's, on a case-by-case basis, start looking at opening these. There are also a lot of these elective but important surgeries that have been delayed that have healthcare outcomes for people. And we've got a lot of people who need surgeries to help improve their own health. And I think it's important that we let those start occurring. If there's anybody who can operate in a safe and healthy environment, it's going to be our hospitals. Secondly, I have called for the reopening of our racetrack, specifically for Churchill Downs. It's the one that is scheduled to open up at the end of the month. I would hope that by mid-May they could be racing again. It has a tremendous effect on Kentucky's economy when we're not racing. It affects owners and trainers and breeders and all the ancillary employees at our racetracks and training centers. And it has a big effect on horse sales, which are sort of in limbo right now. And people aren't going to pay for young horses to race if they don't know when they're going to be able to race them, while they're also paying bills on their current race horses in training. And I look around at other states like Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Florida. They're running races without spectators. They're on 3 national TV networks every weekend because horse racing is the only live sport going. Wagering handle through advanced deposit wagering applications way up. And I think Kentucky needs to get in on this and get back in action in the next couple of weeks.
I do have to ask you about Robert Goforth, who was arrested last night on suspected domestic battery charges. Have you heard anything more about that?
I've not. The Speaker of the House, David Osborne, put out a statement, and I would support what he said. We detest and deplore domestic violence. As a matter of fact, we passed a bill last year making strangulation a felony. So these are horrible allegations, and obviously it will work its way through the courts. But I detest and deplore personally domestic violence, and certainly don't support this, and am happy that I voted for and that we passed that strangulation law last year.
Senator Damon Thayer, thank you so much for making your first appearance on Hey Kentucky, and we will have you back soon.
I'd love to be back. Thanks, Mary Jo.
Thank you. Stay safe. All right, Senate Majority Floor Leader Damon Thayer. More Hey Kentucky right after this.